This is going to be the air feed for the next iteration of the 5-gallon bucket deep water systems at ASN Stone. The thing to keep in mind when you're running multiple air lines from a single pump or a single outlet is that the lines have to be symmetrical in length. And the reason for that is that as air moves along a line, or any fluid moves along a line, there is pressure reduction. There's friction basically, and there's a pressure drop as you move along the length of the line. So in this particular case, we're using a 100-gallon aquarium pump, a Tetra Whisper. The aquarium pump has 2 outlets, and each outlet is going to have a set of air hoses. This system is going to plug into the outlet from the pump, and then there are 2 5-foot lines connected to that. The whole system is about 6 feet wide, and I think 5 feet will be long enough with the pump set up in the middle. So, and then at the end, I'm going to have 2 1-inch air stones instead of 1 1-inch air stones. The 1-inch by themselves seem to do a good job, but I think more is better. And actually in future systems I'm using 4-inch air stones and would probably go longer. So here at the far end we have another T with 2 1-inch tubes. The color difference doesn't make any difference. All that is that I had a scrap of this black tubing left over, and I decided to use the scrap, which was actually a smart idea, because by the time I cut 5-foot pieces off of this roll, this original roll of tubing, I only had about a 1/2 inch left. So this is going to work out very well in terms of the space limitations. So that's the way that goes. I'm going to be rebuilding that system 2 buckets at a time. I've done most of the setup for the second set of tubes, and maybe I'll take some video of that when I get down there and have it all set up. Okay, so when I came up to put in the new hose line on these tomatoes, I found that I was already using 2-inch stones on these, so I immediately cut off the double 1-inch stone and put the 2-inch stones on the line. However, what I found that just by laying the hoses into the buckets, the airflow in the buckets was not consistent, and so I devised some clips made out of coat wire, actually, coat hanger wire, and you can see sort of right here, top of the clip, and put those in there to hold it down at an even level as far as the water was concerned. But then I still found that the actual flow rate was different. So what I did is I came back and put on this little valve here and adjusted it so that the airflow was pretty much the same in terms of eyeballing it. And that seems to be a good solution actually going forward, is that instead of trying to balance these lines by length, I'm just going to have one line running, and then each offshoot is going to have one of these little valves, and when I install them I'll just adjust the valves to make the flow symmetrical. Okay, so as I continue on with this experimentation for mounting stones, this is the next idea. You can buy these 3-inch corner braces for about $1 each at Lowe's, and that certainly beats spending time bending coat hanger wire to get something. And I will show you as I apply them how I go about anchoring them. The point I want to make about air stones is that they do not need to be at the bottom of the deep water chamber. I did Kratky last year, and basically, the top several inches of the roots were left out of the water to aerate the upper level of roots. I recently took some tomato plants out of the outside system I have, and when I had to tear off the roots, they were very strong. They were like crunchy, it's like they'd been in the water continuously, but they'd also been aerated, and they were doing just fine.